It's 8:33 now. There are growing calls to use the public support shown during the pandemic to put in place a long-term plan to fund social care. The Prime Minister had already promised this as he entered Downing Street. Now, former Health Secretaries on opposite sides of the bench, Jeremy Hunt and Andy Burnham, are calling for action. It's thought a new tax could be brought in to fund increasingly expensive care for our ageing population. Well, joining us now is Colin, Policy Director of the United Kingdom Home Care Association. Good morning to you. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning.
This has really exposed an area that has really been neglected in many ways, hasn't it?
Oh, it certainly has. And we had an announcement from the Prime Minister on his first day in office. There was a green paper ready to be published, but there's been a deafening silence since.
It's very hard for any sector to ask for more money, particularly at the moment. But why is it so needed in social care?
So social care is providing an incredible range of support to people, both in residential care, people in care homes, and to people who are supported in their own home, who live independently, but with a little bit of support to make sure that they're able to remain at home, going through to really complex support at home for people with advanced dementia. All of these things can be done in a community setting. It works really well, but it's really not been funded adequately for years, and the costs increase, the funding doesn't match. And
the costs have really increased very dramatically in this last year, haven't they?
Well, they have, and of course, coronavirus has changed things dramatically. Those costs are temporary, but they're having they have an impact on the viability of providers over this year into next year. Government has provided additional funding to support with coronavirus, but probably nowhere near enough for that scale. So organisations are needing to absorb those costs and still remain viable for the future.
Do you fear that when attention moves on, whenever that might be, we get the other side of the virus, that this issue might become neglected again?
Well, of course, that's always a concern. I mean, the Prime Minister seemed to be really clear that was one of his ambitions for his term in office, sorting out social care funding. But what we actually need to do is see some real action. I think the call from the Health and Social Care Select Committee for £7 billion per year by 2023 is a good starting point for that. But really, we need the conversation going on about what the state is going to provide for individuals and what people have to fund themselves, because at the moment people aren't making adequate preparation for the costs of care if it's going to fall to them.
Colin, thank you very much for joining us. Colin Angel, Policy Director of the United Kingdom Home Care Association.